I'm very big on time. You don't know how much time you have on this earth. To sit there and waste it on someone who does not value your time is crazy to me. That something says something's wrong with you. Welcome back.
Welcome.
Second episode.
I know, this kind of happened pretty quickly.
I'm excited.
We're just diving right in there.
Right after work.
Diving. Okay.
She do the singing thing off and on all throughout the day, and I just give her a side eye.
It helps me relax. I think everyone needs to have their own type of mechanisms to relax. This helps me relax. So, anyways, welcome to episode 2 of Urban Elegance.
Ooh.
How's your week been so far?
It has been okay. I'm just ready for this game on Thursday. I'm ready to just be out and just simmer down from the load of work that I've been doing, but it's been okay. I can't complain, actually.
That's good.
How about you?
My week has been, so it's Tuesday, April 2nd. We made it past April 1st for those watching it.
But people still acting like fools.
No, that's facts.
I'm just playing.
Yeah, but no, my week has been interesting again. I just feel like it's just always something. I don't know what it, I think, the warm weather starts approaching, and then that's when people come out the woodwork, you know what I mean? But I think something that I wanted to discuss today is relating to a form of how to deal with like rejection. I feel like that's something that I've been experiencing from the start of this week, which I wasn't really aware of until yesterday. Actually, I wasn't really aware of that, and just the fact that I could kind of put actual like a name to a feeling. I'm happy that I came to that resolution.
Okay. I mean, that's good. That's the awareness is there, and I heard you speak about it here and there because, of course,
Yeah, we talk outside of recording.
Yeah.
But of course, again, I was dealing with a man, a boy, and a thing with us wasn't working out, and I couldn't really put into terms as to why it wasn't working out. Mm-hmm. This relationship wasn't really working out in the ways that I had planned for it to work out. Mm-hmm. And this was mainly due to, well, I guess in terms of someone doesn't do what you are requesting in a relationship, I think it's a form of rejection. It's a form of rejecting you. Mm-hmm. So in this term, this guy wasn't trying to do a specific thing that I wanted, like, for example, like setting up dates or courting me the way I wanted to be courted. And I was getting frustrated with that because if I like someone, I'm like, okay, so why aren't you doing this simple thing that you should just be doing? Like, this is something that shouldn't be a tug and pull. And so that not working out and me reflecting on my feelings about it, because I'm human, like, you're going to get your feelings hurt with certain things. Mm-hmm. And so I just felt like that was a form of rejection, because in that sense, he's rejecting me because he's rejecting like requests that I have. For the listeners out there, if you have been with someone who's a bit of a narcissist, this falls in that realm of how they want certain things done their way, or they just have selfish tendencies. It's very difficult to want to even compromise with those type of people, because I don't like to compromise, especially if they're not doing something on their end. What are you compromising? At that point, what are you compromising? So
it's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah,
it's just like it can hurt your ego. It can hurt your ego, and it can hurt your self-esteem, and also it could just make you feel like, but why don't you want to do that? Why are you rejecting this so bad? Why are you saying no to this? Especially, and in your eyes, it could just be so simple. In the other person's eyes, it's like, from the person I know who she's talking about, it's just like, I don't want to do that, because how is that just benefiting me and just solely me, where I can be comfortable 100% and not really care or consider your comfort, but
yeah,
it's a tough pill to swallow, and understanding that like rejection can come in multiple forms is such a great gem to understand. Like, it's just such a great gem to have.
Yeah.
And having that in your back pocket, and now because you've went through that, you know how to navigate it in the future, so it won't hurt as much, it won't irritate as much. Maybe you're not even like hurt or sad, you're just irritated. It won't irritate you as much because okay, that is that. And at the end of the day, it's called life. It hurts. It happens. I've come across rejection in multiple forms as well, from different people, from different walks of life. And you just have to understand, just as you weren't put on this earth for that person was not put on this earth for you. And when you like really digest that and just like, you know what, you can't like me, you can't court me, you don't want to love me in the way I want to be loved, and you know what, that's fine. You just need to be with someone that has the same type of love, I guess, method of love, or the same type of your definition of love, and just go with them so you're more compatible. And I think that's what it is. It's compatibility. And also what some people are just, and then some people just don't want to just give anything to anybody. They just want to take. So you also got to be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, I think it's such a tough pill to swallow, though. And I don't know if it's a confidence thing, or it's me putting myself on a pedestal to certain things. I just can't. Sometimes at my brain, I'm just like, how is this person not going to
register it?
Yeah, like, how are you not going to do this for me? Like, yeah. I can't register it sometimes. So this was definitely a learning curve for me, because as someone who has such a handle on a lot of things, especially when it comes to who I talk to, sometimes attraction can be an illusion to a lot of different things. So that's why that was different waters that I was navigating. But moving on from that, it was funny because I was watching this TikTok. It was this woman who said that she had came from a brunch with her friends, and all her friends were like in their late 20s, and it was majority black women, and one of the friends out of the group was a white woman, and she was married, and the rest of them had been discussing their woes in dating and how it's been the trenches, like having all these same commonalities when it comes to it. And when she was talking, I was like, wow, we all dealing with the same thing? Like, what's going on? But a interesting point that she made was all of the black women had discussed whether or not they would think about dating outside their race, because they had solely been dating black men. And all of them agreed that they would not venture out because they didn't feel comfortable venturing out. They wanted to stay within the black dating pool, even though the white, and I don't know the context, I may have to watch it again. She didn't say that the white woman was married to another race. I don't know if that's why that came into discussion, because maybe that's possible. But she said that the white woman was very happy with her life, like she's, just gushing in love. So I'm wondering if she was in an interracial relationship. But collectively the black girls were like, no, although we are being treated horribly, although this dating experience has been not the best for us with this particular group of people, we're going to solely cater for them and not venture out because of some inherent thing that they had, that they collectively were like, they just couldn't do it. So that's a topic I wanted to also bring up with that, because I think that also comes in the form of rejection.
Yeah. Because
if you are dealing with a lot of rejection in dating, if you're dealing with these woes in dating, but it's a particular group of people, would you not venture out? Would you not try to see if there's other options? And I just wanted to I guess, see what is this. I thought we were past this with this day and age, because TikTok showed a lot of interracial relationships. It dived in. I saw a whole bunch of Black women talking about they were dating outside their race. So it's just interesting when I still see this common thought of we have to solely be for Black men because you feel like you're gonna betray your race.
Yeah, I hear this sometimes, and then also, and it's not shade, but people just like, joke around because I'm the person in the family that's known to just date outside my race. And most of the people that I've talked to have been non-Black men. Mm-hmm. And I don't discriminate, but I just don't limit myself. And I always wondered why some Black women thought this way. But then it just comes down to, okay, I'm expecting, it would hurt less if someone that looks like me rejects me, but it's going to hurt even more if I'm rejected or if my wants and needs are rejected by someone who looks totally different from me. And you think also people can allow certain thoughts like, oh, other races of men are not into Black women. This is not that. They don't like us, or
there's a disconnect in culture.
Yeah.
Like maybe you don't have a lot of commonalities in that, but you would never know if you don't try it.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think you would never know. See, and we discussed this in the last episode, so I don't want to, pander on this too much, but with my experience of dating a variety of different men of different ethnicities, the commonality that I found have been that men are men. Like it doesn't matter white, Asian, Hispanic, Black, men are men. If you dating a specific type of person, like if they all have a certain trait, because I feel like I attract a lot of like artist types. I attract a lot of free thinkers. What do we call those people?
Enlightened? Or
I don't think it's like enlightened. I think it's more so of like,
just artistic,
edgy. Like I attract those type of people. So that's not going to change based on just the race. Yeah. Like they all have a specific type of personality. So and doing the same thing over and over again, you're going to get the same results, and that's insane. And so that's when I had to kind of back up and be like, who am I? What do I want? Like, why am I still entertaining this type of person? So that's what I think Black women need to look at. Is there a commonality in all the men that you're dating when it comes to, if you, and that's fine. If you just want to date Black men, again, I ideally want to be with a Black man, but I'm not going to limit my options just to Black men. Like if another man of a different ethnicity came along in my direction, I'm not going to be like, goodbye. Because that may be the blessing God is bestowing upon you if you are praying for that, if you're praying for your person, and then you just ignoring him.
We're individuals, so we all have things that are quirky about us, things that we don't understand about another person. Yeah. It's already, we already have the thing of men and women. We're totally different beings. Yeah. And so just getting to know each other from that perspective is going to be a bit tough. And I think and race can have some influence on the toughness of being able to become one, but that's how that's how it is. And we're individuals. So no matter what, even if you go with a man of the same race, you're still going to have, because what is his family dynamics like? What are your family dynamics like? What type of traumas you endured during childhood? What are things that you're looking for that you didn't receive during childhood that you're trying to get from another totally different adult? So it's just so many different things that come into play. And I just think limiting yourself, I believe, is very small-minded. Yes. And it may offend people, but it's small-minded because we are a race of people. I'm not one of those people that say I don't see color. Color does have it exists.
That's the reason why we differentiate different colors.
And I just know how humans work. If people just want to be a crappy person, if they want to be a jerk, if they want to be an a-hole, they're going to be it. And they're just going to look for something that's really, really hard to find, or just call out the obvious. Oh, you're a different hair color than I am? Oh yeah, I'm just going to just go and Jones you on it. I'm going to shade you on it. Because if I just want to be a crappy person, if I'm miserable with my own life, I'm going to spread my misery around. If I want to be a dark cloud, I'm going to spread this dark cloud around so we can all be a storm together. So people are just people. And I don't think you should limit yourself, because we don't have, and this thing of time, I'm very big on time. You don't know how much time you have on this earth. To sit there and waste it on someone who does not value your time is crazy to me. That something says something's wrong with you. And if you continuously go after people like that, there's something actually really wrong with you, and you need to go get healing for it. So I'm just very passionate about that. I don't understand. I don't like limiting. I don't like small-mindedness. No, explore, travel, chase different foods, meet different people.
Yeah, because I think a thing that what just clicked in my mind and what that girl said in the video, that it doesn't even matter if the guy is beneath them in the sense of, so say if they making more money than the guy, just as long as he's black, they'll be with him. So that's what is also why you're gonna have so much trouble, because you're gonna have a struggle life.
Yes.
Like that to me just sounds like struggle. I don't believe in struggle love. I don't.
No. And it's going to be very tough, because one thing, a man is a man.
Yeah.
And he does want to feel like he's able to lead, or I know.
And you can't be his mother.
Yeah. And it's different. Okay, he makes $10,000 less than you. Like, no one's looking at that.
Looking at that.
You're doing this and he's doing something else.
I'm not going to listen to, who was it, Tyler Perry, that said, as long as he can pay the light bill, that should be fine. No. Why can't he only pay the light bill?
If I can do it, what's stopping you? We have the same 24 hours.
Same 24. That's all I'm saying.
We're going to all have struggles. There's going to always be barriers. But are you going to give in and give up, or are you just going to push through and don't make excuses? Because it's easier to make excuses. It's easy to fall into that victim. We've all done it. But then you got to be like, you know what? No, I can do it.
Yeah.
It can be done. So why not do it?
It just may take a little longer.
Yes.
And that's what I think. I think women put a lot of pressure on themselves, especially black women. Like it's a ticking clock, this imaginary clock that they have. And of course everyone's different. I feel, if you're adding children and all that, that's a whole different thing, because then maybe you're like, I have to be married by 30. Or I just want to have a kid by 30. I want to do this all before. Yeah. I just think that you shouldn't put this imaginary clock up and then settle, because that just sounds like settling.
Yes.
And then you're going to be miserable and now adding a kid to it, which doesn't make sense to me. So that's all I'm saying. I wanted to point that out because I don't like hearing stuff like that. And I thought we were past that. This is 2024. Like, why are we still talking about we are caping for one type of person?
That's like staying at a job that's looking past you, looking over you, not giving you promotions, not acknowledging your work. And if you're at a job for 2 years and they haven't even given you a raise, bonus, or any type of promotion, you're stagnant.
Or there's not even conversations about the promotion.
What is the purpose? That's a dead end job. So that's a dead end relationship. That's a dead end person. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to voluntarily suffer? And I feel like a lot of people voluntarily, especially women, and then black women too, because I can only speak from my perspective.
Black female experience.
Yeah. But also a lot of women, we voluntarily suffer.
We do. We
put ourselves through just so many just difficulties that we didn't have to go through. And, thankfully, and then if you've been through that and if you didn't get kids from it, thank God. But then a lot of times people bring kids in it and then make it really difficult for the kids. And that's not fair. Now that's selfish. And you have to do some really deep healing and understand, why are you moving the way you're moving? What is triggering that? And it's going to hurt like that. I've done therapy before. It's going to hurt. And honestly, a lot of times we don't like what we see in the mirror. It may not be just physically, but when you have another person, there's for an example, people, when they say they don't like somebody, usually it's because something that's in them they don't like is within themselves. So it's a reflection and they don't like to see that. We usually don't like our own reflections. So if you're constantly going after these type of people, there's something in you that is very similar to them, and you don't like it, but it's a struggle because you're struggling with yourself.
That's very true. That's why I said it's a lot of reflection. It's a lot of reflection because I have to look at myself and be like, oh, maybe me and this person is kind of very similar, but do I want to maintain being that person?
Yeah.
Do you want to grow or do you want to stay that way? And so that's a big battle. But then it also comes with what you said, ego. Like, I feel like a lot of people are just like,
I can handle it. I can change him. That's the female ego. He won't do it to me.
He won't do it to me.
And baby, he do it to you 10 times worse. And that's what I've always told myself growing up. I know life is already going to be hard. I want to get out of it, you know, certain, if I have to, you know, go through certain situations, I want to have the minimal amount of battle wounds as possible. Because some battles we don't even have to go into. We just create it, and then we want God to fix our mess. How are you throwing God in that when he wasn't even there during the decision making? He wasn't there through the thought process that you had, because you thought about what I want. And of course he gives us grace, but we also have to take accountability. Like, no, I made this mess. You know what? I'm gonna have to clean it up. And he could still bless me. You know, I just gotta, this is gonna be much harder. And because I'm a Christian, but like, I know God still loves us, even though we may make these bad decisions, but we still have to deal with the consequences. He got your back, but you still have to deal with them consequences. And I want minimal consequences, bad consequences as possible.
But then again, no one thinks about consequences, because I think a lot of people just live in the moment, or just don't think about, you just don't think about the next couple of days or next year or how your life is going to be. That's why it's like looking in the future. You got to try to have that discernment.
Take some time, because my thing was not with relationships, because I was very, I can't say thankfully, I was like, I can be very witty, and also just I have good discernment when it comes to like romantic relationships, but I guess I don't want to say friendships, but just interacting with people in general, especially when I was younger. Oh, my mouth was crazy, and I realized my thing was anger, and I didn't have to curse. I could just observe things and say some real deep in the ground mean stuff, like, and put it together and just tear you up. And so I'm like, ooh, I had to reflect, like, why am I like this? And then take some time, and I took like 2-3 years just to be, you know, with myself and get a handle on that, because I just know, I'm like, I don't want to come across a good person and run them off because my mouth, or if they do something that triggers me, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna say that for the arsenal and just destroy you, you know. So it comes in all different forms, and it does take some time, and it take years for you to like get a handle on that. And now I'm definitely thinking before I speak, because like the consequences thing, oh my gosh, like there's certain things that I wish I could take back that I've said to people. And I know that was because words stick with people forever. And there's certain things I'm like, I regret saying that. I wish I never said that. That really tore that person down, and they didn't deserve that.
See, me, I think I know a toxic trait that I've discovered recently. I'm a arguer. I like to argue. And that's toxic. It's very toxic. It's like, I don't start arguments, but if someone starts with me, I'm just like, let's go. And this is probably with my family, you know, they thought I was all going to go to law school and all this stuff. And I probably would have been a great lawyer, arguing 24/7 with people. But that's something I discovered about me recently, that it's like, I'm just ready for a fight. Like, I'm just ready to tussle. I'm not physically, but yeah, with words, I will cut you up. So I don't know. It's just so difficult not being in toxicity. Like, that's just something I'm really trying to deal with, that I never realized that I liked. And maybe it just like gives, you know, certain things give you energy. It's like, oh, yes, I'm ready for this. And you don't even know, like, you kind of enjoying it low key, but it's toxic as hell. You don't need to be doing that. So it's
Especially when you learn it when growing up and seeing the adults doing that around you. So it's like, it's second nature.
It's like growing up seeing a certain version of what people, you don't even equate it to love. You just see it as, this is what a relationship is.
Yeah.
So it's so normal. And you would think, oh, you'll grow out of that. Like, you're in your 20s. You're going to get past that.
I'll never be like them.
And eating your words. Or they're like, wow, I'm really doing everything that they did. So that's something I'm also being more mindful of saying that would never be me. I won't be doing that, because I now have to be very careful with words of just saying, I hope I don't do that.
Yes. God forbid.
God forbid. I hope that does not happen for me. Well, I told you about the Gerard Carmichael and Tyler, the Creator ordeal. So I don't know if anyone else seen this, but Gerard Carmichael, which I didn't know because I had loved the Carmichael Show on Netflix. He had this, it was a really good sitcom, and then they canceled it. Then Gerard came out as gay, and he came out with some, like, I don't know if it's a reality show. It's on Max, but he came out with, it's like a reality show, but I don't know if it's like a satire.
Oh, why did I just process who that guy was? Now I have the face in my head now.
But he came out with this whole ordeal. So on the show, he pulls in Tyler, the Creator, and I thought this situation had happened like a couple of days ago. Apparently, the situation between him and Tyler, the Creator, had happened a few years ago, or like over a span of a year or something. And so he brings Tyler in in a room full of cameras to discuss the fact that Tyler like ignored him when he had confessed feelings for him. But I brought this up to say about navigating friendships when you are completely seeing it as platonic, and then they come around and confess something for you, especially when it pertains to like the opposite sex. So,
or the same sex.
That's very awkward if like a whole bunch of cameras are coming in.
Yeah.
Or you just walk in a room with a whole bunch of cameras and a person is trying to get your, I felt like Gerard wanted Tyler to change his stance and be like, well, actually I feel, and Tyler stood 10 toes down and was like, yeah, so I don't know what the point of this was. He was like, yeah, I am. No, he said they were eating, they ordered food or something. No, Tyler had ordered food, and he was being such a jerk, but it was funny to me. I don't care.
I like
He brought in the
rebuttals.
food. Oh, he asked Gerard if he was going to eat his food or something, and Gerard said no. He was like, do you want it? And then Tyler's like, no, I'm good on that. I'm big straight on that. Big straight. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And then he goes in a room where there was like a producer or something in there because he thought it was a balcony. And he just goes in the room and farts.
Oh my gosh.
He came out and it was like, he'll be okay. I thought nobody was in there. The man was in a room with like all the lights off.
Oh, dang. That's embarrassing.
He did not care. Like, this is the level of like, I don't give a F at all. Like, he did not care. And he was just staying 10 toes down. Like, Gerard said, oh, do you remember what I told you when I had confessed feelings for you? And he says, oh, I think I said something mad normal. Like, it was like super normal. Gerard said, you told me. He was like, you stupid B. And then Tyler just started cracking up. He was like, oh yeah, I did say that. And that's why I'm like, I don't know if it was real or not, but that low-key triggered me because I've dealt with situations before when friends have tried to confess something or tried to change up the stance of y'all relationship when it's like, no, we are friends. If I wanted something to happen, I would have made a move. Or they wait for an opening.
Yes.
And sometimes, especially with male friends, I have to be mindful of what do they take as flirting, because I can be overly friendly. Like, especially if I'm, if I have like a couple of drinks, I'm feeling a little nice, or I'm just out in an environment. If I feel comfortable, I can be overly friendly. Like, I laugh, I talk more, I'm more extroverted. So it's just that thing of how do you deal with that? Because a lot of the times I have not end up being friends with them anymore because it kind of stains the relationship.
Yeah, it's going to always change it, and it's never going to be the same. And then if they act a bit awkward, then yeah, that's done. If they act like nothing happened, okay. I mean, it's still going to be a little awkward, but it just changes it forever. And I don't, that's just, it's always tough because it's like, I only see you as a friend. Or if someone just sees you as a friend and you were hoping and wishing that, oh, we would look so good together, or I really like his personality.
But this is why also I don't believe in opposite sex friendships in a relationship. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't be with someone whose best friend is a female. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that I look at that as they are waiting for an opportunity. The minute something goes wrong in your relationship, oh, you need a shoulder. Yeah. Come over. I'll tell me everything. I think it's such a messy thing. Like, it's such a messy thing, and dealing with male friendships that have.
So they're always looking for an opening.
Yes. And
your man messed up, you can come right over here.
It's such an uncomfortable thing to be in. It's very uncomfortable. And then especially someone who, if you talk to them about people you dating, or, you're sharing like things with them because you think you are genuinely just friends. Yeah. And then now you're like, whoa, what did he take as like me giving him an invitation? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just a weird thing to navigate. So I hate when that happens. It's like, why? Just be normal. Let's just be platonic.
And then sometimes some people are just like, you may never know unless you ask.
It just depends on the situation. Like, if y'all been friends for years and it's been a little bit of flirting, like, it's like, I feel like it's a feeling. It's an underlying thing. You're like, okay, but we just don't want to move on it. Because I feel like it's a mutual thing. You understand? It's like an unspoken thing. Yeah. But some people are very clear. I feel like I'm very clear when I'm not trying to be with someone. But then again, I don't know what people are taking as flirting. Yeah. Because some guys just take conversation as flirting. And it's like, oh, we don't even talk anymore? Like, what's going on? Mm-hmm. If y'all watch the Gerard Carmichael reality scene with... That whole thing was so awkward. He was up there sucking somebody's toes. And I had to really... I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, I can't.
What is going on?
I don't expect nothing less from Tyler, the creator. So when you told me that, I was like, that sounds like him.
No, his reaction was priceless. I was like, damn. I love it. Because I hate awkward situations. It made my skin crawl. I was like, oh, this feels so awkward. That's why
he said what he said.
And then he's laughing. So you just feel like secondhand embarrassment for Gerard. You're like, get out of the room. Why are we still in this room? Get out.
It's a chance you take. Hey, it's a risk.
I mean, yeah, it is a gamble. Yeah. Hey, I'm not saying that friend may not like you, but you really need to think about because some people speak in hypotheticals, right? Don't people do that anymore? Like, people like, hypothetically, if we were together. When people ever brought that up to me, we would never work out. Like, I say that bluntly. We will never work out. Mm-hmm. But hypothetically, we would never work out, and that would never happen. So what invitation did you think was open?
I think some people just don't know how to read other people, because that does take a skill. That's a skill to learn, and as well as reading the room, because I did have a friend, and I went to an all-girls high school, a Catholic one, and she, while we were in the restroom, just like in the mirror together, she let me know that she was attracted to me and that she's bi-curious and maybe bisexual. So she's like, I think you're very pretty, and we were very like good friends. So I just had to like take that, and I was like, oh, I'm like, thank you, and you're beautiful too. And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, I don't see you in that way. I just see you as my friend. Like, we're just really good friends. We have good times together after school. We may go somewhere and hang out.
What's funny about that though? Because I don't think parents realize that when sending children to one gender high school or school. Mm-hmm. Like, there are kids in there that are actually gay. Like if you're trying so hard to keep your child away from boys and all that stuff, you need to keep that in mind that there's girls in that school that may want other girls, and she's gonna have to be dodging bullets. Like, okay, that's what's funny, because I just think about if my parents hear this or if they watch this, they like, you got girls. Yes. It was, and some of those girls in there look like boys, like men.
Yes, that's when I first came in. I was like, wait, I thought it was all girls.
The one that looked like low-key like Chris Brown a little bit. Or maybe she was just light skinned. But she looked like a full boy. I don't remember their name.
There was another one, and she did. And I was like, oh, he's cute.
It was two of them. One was really tall. They were both light skinned. I think they were Dominican. One was really tall. The other one. And we
went to the same high school.
Had all the people fawning over them, like because they look like handsome boys, and these are a whole bunch of girls that are just like wanting to go to down the block with the public schools where all the boys are, because this is what we have to look at.
Them dusty little boys.
Yes, but and that's a whole thing, navigating all girls schools. Like, we have to definitely speak on that.
If you guys want to know more about our stories.
I legit war stories, just a war.
I had a great time. I had a good time because I was neutral, but people also, they just knew not to, I guess I didn't get into stuff, but I can't say to wrap up the other story. The girl and I, we did remain friends, and it was just like, okay, good. She wasn't pushy or anything. And that's what I like. Don't be pushy, or don't push yourself
don't be weird about it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's actually really bold for her to like come to try to talk to the same sex.
But I did watch my actions after that, just make sure I wasn't too friendly,
or
like,
on guard.
Because before I would be like, we're just
it would be certain things that I'll be like, oh, I can't do certain stuff with you anymore because now I don't know what you're taking. That like I would be on guard, but like, I'm on guard with anyone.
Messages.
I'm on guard with anyone who confesses feelings for me, because I'm automatically watching, especially if I don't like you like that. Yes. Now I'm dialing back everything. Everything is being dialed back. Catholic schools, man. A big misconception is that people think sending kids to charter schools or Catholic schools, they're going to be less delinquent. Like they have more structure. And I would argue that Catholic schools are public schools with uniforms. It leans you in more to wanting to be rebellious. I think it makes you want to not be conformed into doing stuff. Or unless that's how I took it. I was like, I'm not going to be following these rules. Like, I don't know what any of y'all talking about.
Yeah, she was rebellious.
I was rebellious all through my schooling, from elementary all the way to high school, because I just couldn't take people telling me what to do. And then I hated those uniforms. Now looking back, you kind of appreciate them because you didn't have to create an outfit every day. And I don't know how that would be, especially if people are saying like designers and all that stuff, like how if you don't have this, you're lame and all that. I know a lot of people in public schools dealt with that. Or if you had like knockoff wear and then they're like dragging your name through the mud. Like she doesn't wear when Uggs were popular, when they had like the bear.
Oh yeah.
And people would tear you to shreds if you didn't have real Uggs.
So crazy, but yet you can't pay your tuition for school. Okay.
But nobody knew that. It was just if
Until
you
had them on that line.
Had the fit on, you were good.
Until I saw them people on that line with the outstanding tuition invoices, and they couldn't get into school, and I was like, oh, because we sitting there, you're putting money into these big companies' pockets, but like where are the priorities?
Where are the priorities?
You're majoring in the minor and minoring in the major.
That's so crazy. I don't think I speak to anyone from high school. I think I speak only to, like, I know them on social media. Like, I follow them. I don't have any animosity with anybody from high school. I think the people that I stopped talking to, we just parted ways. We just going about our separate lives. But that's just really interesting, because when I see people that are like, oh, we've been friends since high school. Well, luckily enough, I've had friends since college. So we don't live in the same state, which is sad. But then also, this is a very popular thing that everyone has, like, their closest friends living in another state.
Yeah, because
you gotta type of thing.
You gotta go off, do your own thing, and it's also a good thing to have that, because if you do want to travel to that state, you have a place to stay.
You have Well, if they have a place.
Yeah, if they have space for you.
If they have a place for you.
And they can
yeah. I have a lot of friends.
That's just all girls high school. Oh yeah.
It's nothing but drama. Nothing. And we were like the center of downtown Brooklyn.
Yes.
Which is crazy to even think about.
But it was a fun time. It was a fun time. It was interesting too, because we were surrounded by because they were also doing construction, building it up as well. So the only thing about that is the grown men that were around and knew that we were underage and in high school
and trying to talk to these little girls. Calling.
And you probably have a daughter my age is disgusting. And I was mostly disgusted by near my house. Well, my house in New York, when I lived there. There was a police precinct, and I'm walking past the police garage or the police parking lot, and this officer, he's like talking to me, and I was like, oh, hi, and blah, blah, blah. And then he started flirting, and then doing a bit more flirting and trying to I was like, this man sees I am in a whole uniform, and you're in a uniform, and you're trying to speak to me. That's another story. It's so crazy. And I just think about if I have a child, like, these nasty grown
it's
people.
So much more that you just look at differently, because when you're younger and you see, this man is looking at me. I'm so I'm pretty.
Even if he's so cute, it's like, oh yeah, he likes me. Like,
but then you grow up and you're like, if you're in that age, like I can never imagine being with someone from high school. Like, it was so many people I knew being in high school. There's so many people I knew in middle school and high school who were dating older people, even if it's 21, even if it's 22. It's like, what how do you have anything in common or see that as a partner or see that as someone to talk to? Because I never forget, it was this girl in my class in high school, and I think she was dating like one of the construction workers, and people were like, everybody said, that's weird. We gonna tell, like, so I don't know who said something. I think someone snitched. I just remember it was like a big thing because he looked old, and we were just
disgusting. You're disgusting. A predator.
Especially when I look back at my high school photos, I'm like, we look like babies.
Yes,
like I look like 12 years old.
Yes.
In high school. Like, if people tell me I look like if I'm in high school or college now, I look like a baby in high school.
Very much so.
So it's just the disconnect there, and for people that try to make that a thing to say, you're mature for your age. That's weird.
Yeah, that's a blatant lie.
That's a real predatory thing to say.
I was acting like a child.
That's a real predatory thing to say.
Yeah.
What 15-year-old is mature for her age? Unless they living in Hollywood years. Like, in Hollywood years, from what I've been hearing with a lot of different stories, it's just like the Nara Smith girl that I like on TikTok. I love her cooking videos, and I think she got pregnant at like 18, or she had her first child at 18, or married at 18, something. She was very young. Had her second child by like 22, and but she said, I had lived an adult life since 14, because she's been in the modeling world and in that type of scope. So, and that apparently that's the same story with a lot of different people who, grew up in that type of quick paced environment. And then that reminds me of like when you had that time when y'all had went to y'all had went to the fashion week thing, and then they were just trying to offer you champagne and stuff when you are like looking 12.
I'm like 16.
Like
I
16.
had a good time. Interesting. And I just think about all the grown men. When I say grown, I mean like in their late 20s, 30s, and 40s. And I'm like, what? I realize there are just so many predators out here. You have to be very careful who you are around, who you're going to have your children around. Like, you need to be on guard, because it is a war out here. These people are looking to corrupt their innocence.
And then it goes to like the next thing of kids today looking older than the normal teens when we were in high school.
The girls in my high school, I look like a baby.
Face-wise with like makeup and all that, and like
body.
Fillers. They didn't have fillers.
They didn't need fillers, and they did not need surgery. These girls were double D's tall. They were built. They were busted. And and I'm sitting there petite and small, probably just like 105 pounds. I'm not that much bigger now, but I'm like, oh my gosh, these are like women. They were definitely shapely, and they did not look like little girls. Unless you saw the uniform, and then when we didn't have a uniform, wearing regular clothes, these look like grown. They were, they were very developed. I can say that. And it was, I mean, ba-boom, ba-boom, just like, wow. Like in the cartoons, that's how they look.
Yeah, actually, I didn't think about that because they were tall. Crazy. It was like 5'10" girls in my school.
We called them the super juniors, and
so I don't know, but I do feel like it is a difference though. I mean,
now they get like nowadays stuff.
they look older for sure. Like the girls, they look mature. I think they were really looking at their bodies, not their face. But I think face-wise now, a lot of kids are looking older.
Like 40-year-old suburban women.
Yeah.
And no shade to y'all. Like the 40-year-old, 40 and above, Real Housewife type of women with the fillers and everything, and your face hasn't even settled in yet.
But if you're that age, that's
normal.
Yes. Like, you're not supposed to look like that when you're 15. No. That's weird.
I'm just thinking a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, if you guys want to definitely hear more about our high school experience, and just let us know in the comments, and we'll be more than happy to share stuff.
Yes. Or any other topics or questions that you may have that you may want to get our perspectives on, even though you've only seen 2 episodes of us so far, and maybe we can give some insight. We'll be happy to do that. So comment below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button for more content. Follow us on our social medias. They'll be linked right down below.
Feel free to share any feedback. Do you like this setup as well? We changed it around. And
try to do something a little different, but we are still in the works of doing different things.
Hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.